Hey, welcome everybody. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Emily Morgan here from Delegate Solutions, and I'm so honored to have Julia Waller here with us today. Welcome, Julia.
Thank you so much, Emily. Great to see you.
We are talking about unique ability today, and this is so important, and we're going to get into why this is so important, my opinion of why it's so important. But before I get into our combo, I want to introduce Julia properly. So Julia is a team leader at Strategic Coach and the developer and pioneering coach of the unique ability discovery process. What's your Colby?
I'm a 6833 systems
6833.
analyst.
Love that
A
follow
lot of follow through.
through. So, and in her career at Coach, she's coached hundreds of entrepreneurs and the entire Strategic Coach team in one-on-one sessions to define their unique set of talents and the passion that drives them. She also co-authored the book Unique Ability, Creating the Life You Want, and Unique Ability 2.0 Discovery. So obviously a very seasoned expert here today to talk with us about this concept. So welcome again. And
Thank you so much.
Julie's in Toronto. So why are we talking about this today? We're talking about this because in my process of writing a book about delegation and developing our e-course, the Elevation Quarter, what has come up for me is that entrepreneurs get stuck with delegation a lot of the times because they don't know what they want to spend their time on. And this is a total mind game that I think we play with ourselves because we get so used to spending our time being busy and like feeling really productive and doing so much work that is not the best use of our time. And I think potentially there's maybe a subconscious fear around letting go because we don't know what we want to spend our time on. We don't really know what we're here to do or contribute, or we've lost touch with it. And so I was dying to have you on today because I really wanted to do a deeper dive into the strategic coach concept of unique ability. So, can we start with, can you kind of just explain what the concept is?
Sure thing. And first of all, you articulated that beautifully because that's exactly, I think, what happens,
Yeah.
right? And entrepreneurs too are so capable and so talented that you can do kind of a lot of things, and you're also used to doing it, so it gets harder and harder to let go. Anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about. So when we talk about unique ability, we talk about there's kind of a couple angles you can go at. You can go at the surface level or the deeper level. So on the surface level, they're the activities that you're really good at. So we've got four criteria. So you've got a superior skill. You know, other people would agree that you've got a good reputation for being very good at this type of activity. You're passionate about it, you love it, right? You enjoy it. It's fascinating, maybe even a little bit. It gives you energy, and as you're doing it, you're energized, and the people around you are energized. And the last one is that you want to keep getting better at it. There's a sense of never-ending improvement, and not because you're bad at it, but it's because you're really good at it, and you could just kind of stay in that zone for a long time. So that's looking at it from activities, and then underneath those activities, you have a unique set of talents that get applied in those activities. And so our process of discovering unique ability, we usually start looking at activities because that's the simplest thing you can do. You could write down what you're doing every day and sort of figure out, hey, which ones do I really like doing? Which activities do I not like doing? Which are frustrating? You know, what's going on? Sometimes you like parts of an activity, but not the other parts. So it's a good way to go at it. And then I like to look deeper and see, well, what talents do you have? And what's the result that you really want to create by using those talents? What's the impact you want to have? And it kind of goes like, what's the impact you want to have in the world, right. You know, in your life? It's who you are really, and what you're all about in this lifetime. So we have a process for doing that as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see their unique ability because it comes so naturally to them. Like you'll do things that to you, it's just, well, it's a no-brainer. It's just like breathing, right? And what you have to realize is that other people, for them, other things are no-brainers, you know, and we tend to forget that.
Right. And so one of the things that I've been teaching is that delegation is an energy management system, and it's a way for you to create more energy for yourself. But the key to unlocking all of this is knowing what you want to spend your time on. So what's sort of the value of leaning into your unique ability? Like maybe is there a story or two of people that have been able to unlock this, and what has it done for them?
Yeah, I just I have all my clients' work on my laptop. So I was spend a little bit of time looking back at their action plans and reminding myself of the kind of actions that they've taken as a result of getting clarity on unique ability. A lot of it is around permission too, permission to let go of, permission to do the stuff that they think is fun, because a lot of people feel guilty.
Yeah.
Oh, it should be hard. I'm not going to let myself do those fun things. I'll give a couple of examples. I have one client right now who's off in Greece with his wife having a blast because his whole other stuff is delegated to his office. He let go of his email, which I know for a lot of people is a big one. And there's a feeling of, well, I should do it and I need to get back to people. But when you have a really super amazing executive assistant who can read through the emails, figure out how to filter them, they can just send you a little picture of an email and you can answer it, or at least know what's happening. So email and freeing yourself from the office so you can go on, spend time with family for one thing, so that you can go on your next adventure. There's a lot of untethering from the office that I think happens sometimes for some of my clients. Some people, all of a sudden, they give themselves more time to think, because a lot of the value that they actually bring to their business is their thinking, their strategic thinking, could be their visionary thinking. A lot of our entrepreneurs are incredible visionaries. They see things into the future that other people don't see, and they love to explore those, or they create new content. They create innovative new ways of doing things in the world. So, and yet they get stuck in all these other activities like emails or project management. And because they're capable and they've been, doing it for a long time, like you said, sort of that busy, productive, they're highly productive too. It's just sort of like a bad habit, right? You just keep doing it because you've always done it, instead of stopping and bringing some consciousness and awareness to each activity that you actually do put onto your plate. Hey, wait a minute. Is this the best use of me right now? Or is there someone who could do it even better than I could? The whole idea with delegation, you want to find someone who can actually do it better than you, bring their own creativity and their own expertise to it. Otherwise, you're not going to let go as easily, right?
Yeah, and I think there's the perception too of, well, what will everyone think if I'm, out?
Yeah.
It's our ability to value and articulate what our contribution really is and should be, which is why I think this is so important. I know my former EOS implementer, Mark O'Donnell, once said to me, once said, sometimes you're just outside staring at trees, and that's okay. You're just walking around
Exactly.
staring at trees. So,
And so it's hard for people to acknowledge and be okay with it. That actually might create the best results for you, because they don't tie that with results. But once you understand that, if you've got your unique ability articulated, you can look at this sheet of paper, because we put it down into one page, and you can say, oh, strategic thinking or daydreaming, envisioning. That is, so staring at trees might actually be a focused day activity for you that creates incredible results. And I just want to mention, because there's that guilt and, who am I to go and stare at the trees when I should be back at the office? I'm a team member. I'm an entrepreneurial team member in an entrepreneurial organization. I've worked for 24 years now as strategic coach so far. Wow. And we want you to go stare at the trees. We actually want you to leave us alone for a while. We want you to come back with your new ideas. Give us your ideas and let us execute on those ideas and go, because when you're going and staring at the trees, you're going to come up with new cool things for the company, which is going to help us grow, right? It's going to give us new opportunities to use our talents in new ways. And you've created this vessel, this purpose for us to contribute our talents towards. And if you're not doing that and spending that time, first of all, then you're meddling in my stuff too. And frankly, I don't want you meddling in my stuff.
Making messes.
I'm making messes, lighting fires, right? And then you're the fire person putting them out as well.
Yep. Chronic entrepreneur behavior.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and to give coach credit, I've been in coach a long time, and I was able to go away for 2 weeks. I had no clue what was going on in the business, didn't check email. I mean, my company is really become self-managing. And we just hired a salesperson, which was the really last big seat that my integrator and I were sitting in. So, like, once she's operationalized, like, we are like I mean, not to steal Dan's words, but we're like in the free zone when it comes to running and operating and visioning for the business. So, huge.
That's brilliant. Congratulations. That's great progress that you've made all over. And it happens over time, right? It's not like you go out and you build your dream team in one day.
Yeah.
And creating a self-managing company, I think, is a big goal that a lot of people, it's appealing. And you're freed up to do the things that you love to do, and you're freed up from the things you don't love. And then you've got all these other people who are energized by what they're doing. So it's a really neat synchronicity between everybody as well.
Absolutely. So, can you walk us through your process of how you help people uncover unique ability? What does that look like?
Yeah, sure. So we use a couple of outside tools to help us identify, like you mentioned, Kolbe, so Kolbe, Kolbe.com. So that's one of the tools. We use that with all of our clients and all of our team members to help you understand how you take action when you're striving. It's a really unique assessment, and I would 100% recommend that because, again, we're so inside ourselves. It's like the whole, you can't read the label from inside the bottle. We need to get outside. So sometimes using assessments like Kolbe, I would recommend. And Clifton Strengths by Gallup is another one I would recommend as well, which gives you some names of some of your talents that will help you identify. So again, we have the activities path, and then we have this naming path, which is the deeper dive. And we have all this outlined in our book. If you go to uniqueability.com, there's a beginner's guide to get you started. You could do one of the profiles to start if you want. We have a whole process where it really starts with listing out what all your activities are, and then categorizing them, which one has those 4 qualities of a unique ability activity and which ones don't. There's more detail in there, but basically you really differentiate which ones you're good at and you're passionate about, which ones you're good at but you don't love doing, because a lot of people have a lot of what we call excellent activities.
Yeah.
In fact, they're in the excellent trap because they're stuck doing a lot of activities they're really, really good at, but they don't love. They might actually be pretty bored by doing them, or they've just been doing them a long time. So those are things that we can look at letting go of too, or they're stuck doing activities that they're competent or incompetent at. And those are things that really anyone, if you had a team member who is merely competent or incompetent at activity, you would probably fire them from that activity. So we want entrepreneurs to fire themselves from those activities too. So there's a process of going through and analyzing your activities, and then you create an action plan. So it gives you direction. A lot of people start down the unique ability path because they want to know, what should I delegate? What do I keep doing? I don't really know. So that's a good way to start. And then you keep the activities that you really love doing. And then a lot of people have to get some stuff off their plate first before they can start taking the freedom to.
Sure.
They need the freedom from first, right? Because they're just so buried underneath it. So I had one client, he was ready to sell his business.
Wow.
He was like so discouraged, and he was up in the corner office doing paperwork because that's what he thought he should be doing. Meanwhile, he should have been out chatting with the sales guys, coming up with innovative new ideas. He was such an incredible innovator. Once he flipped that all around, he was happy as could be. And all of a sudden the results of the company started to go up, gave someone else's office, so there's a lot of shoulds, I think, that come in that we can break through once you're clear on unique ability. And then we have this deeper process where you actually articulate what we call your unique ability habits, which are really your talents. And when you've got it articulated, there's a whole bunch of things you can do with that. You can use it as a filter for your activities. You can use it as a way to grow. Like, how do I grow in each of these talents? Because you want to get better at all of them. How can I find new opportunities for these talents? So we can take you through that whole process too. We've got a book and we've got a notebook. It's kind of like a workshop in a box. I think of it. Take yourself out for coffee, do it little by little, and think about it.
That's available to anyone to purchase on the coach website.
Yeah, it's that coach website, strategiccoach.com, or you can go to uniqueability.com. And when, Dan and Babs, the owners of Strategic Coach, gave us the freedom to write this book, which was phenomenal in itself, our second book on unique ability. And we were just, Catherine and Shannon and I were just passionate about getting the concept out to more people. So it is written for anybody, but there's a focus on entrepreneurs, and all the examples are real client entrepreneur examples. So, and I think entrepreneurs have the most freedom to really free themselves up and make their own choices and design their life around their unique ability, which is pretty exciting.
Which is why we need to know what it is first.
Exactly. It all starts, I'm sort of a stabilizer person. And if you don't have the foundation solid, then how are you going to build the house? So once you've got that clarity, a lot of people just lean right in, and big things happen in terms of results and fun and meaning in life, and, freedom from all the icky stuff and the frustrating stuff. So your energy goes up. If you're talking about energy management, that's perfect. Attention management, where am I going to pay attention? Freedom to be with your kids, freedom to use your unique ability at home. Whereas before, maybe you're expecting your spouse to handle things, and you realize, wait a minute, what's my unique ability? I could be making a contribution there. I've had some breakthroughs for people in that realm too. It helps you be a better spouse, a better father, mother, whatever.
Yeah, my unique ability is not scrubbing the house. Definitely
Yeah.
delegate that one.
And sometimes people use unique ability as an excuse too, right? So I know it for sure. Some people actually do like, I've met with people who actually like cleaning the fridge
Yeah,
and who like entering notes.
yeah,
And it's quite fascinating because a lot of people think, how could anyone like that?
yeah.
But there's people who like those physical, tangible things and the satisfaction of achieving something, and
Mm.
it maybe it's applied to certain activities that other people might not think that people actually enjoy.
Yeah, so to kind of close us out, I'm writing a book called A Culture of Delegation, and a lot of it is about one, you as the entrepreneur embracing this concept, but two, how can you cascade it through your team so that your team is more elevated? Your team has the freedom, like you were just sharing, to do work that they love that motivates them. And I really think delegation, when it's operationalized like that, becomes a retention strategy because you guys are there 24 years. Why are you there? Because you're doing work you love and you have the freedom to do it. And so, just to kind of dovetail the conversation, I really think that once you embrace this, let's cascade it through your team.
100%, because they're going to be the support people too around doing all the stuff that you don't love doing. And the ideal is you pick people who are passionate about those areas. And a lot of it, like for me, my unique abilities sort of emerged organically. And I have done different roles and different activities throughout my time with Strategic Coach. And Babs would see me doing something, or Dan would see something, and it's like, oh, okay, well, how about we put you over here? And they've nudged me a lot too, which I'm grateful for now. And your team really, every quarter, if you just meet with your team leader or your manager and you talk about, hey, what activities are really giving you energy right now, which ones aren't, and how can we help give you just a little bit more of the ones of energy. And hey, oh, wait a minute, Susie over here, she really likes doing those spreadsheets, let's give them over here to her.
Yeah.
And this person really likes doing that. And other times you got to roll up your sleeves and get it done as a team member. You can't say, oh, it's not my unique ability. It's not an excuse.
It's true.
And there is, for me, I'll roll up if we have a workshop day and something needs doing. I'm happy to do it because I love working with our team to create a great result and a first class experience for our clients. And I think all of us kind of feel that way. And then the rest of the time, we're moving people little by little towards more and more in their unique ability. And some roles have been created. We've got, I forget our numbers, but we've got so many people who've been with Coach over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, my sister, 30 years.
Yeah.
So it's a culture that keeps people, for sure.
It's motivating work too, which I think
So
helps.
motivating. And for me, I like things to be purposeful, and
Hmm.
I like to be doing things that are meaningful to me. And I'm able to achieve that using my unique ability.
Cool.
And other people who really want to produce results and growth, and that helps them get there too. They want to have a better future. They want to make more impact. They want more peace and harmony in the world. It's going to happen from them doing their unique ability activities.
Yeah, and so as leaders, it starts with us, but this same formula can cascade through the whole company. And you do work with team members, right? A coach will work with team members on your unique ability.
Yeah, we have workshops for team members of our clients, and we do them in group formats as well because they need to know their unique ability too.
Great.
And it is a concept that's applicable to anybody.
Amazing. Thank you. We are literally hearing it from the expert. So thank you for
Mhm.
sharing so much with us about unique ability. Where do people go to learn more?
Sure. So my pleasure. Thank you. Uniqueability.com. If you're a successful entrepreneur, you go to strategiccoach.com. We've got tons of resources. There's great blog posts. We have tons of books and audios that are available for a lot of people. So take advantage. We love Dan's part of Dan's unique ability is creating intellectual capital
Yes.
and coming up with new ideas. So we've got lots available at those two places.
Awesome. Well, it was an honor to have you. I'm grateful for your time. So thanks again for coming.
My
Um,
pleasure.
and everyone else, again, uniqueability.com. And of course, Strategic Coach is the main hub for all things tied to being the best entrepreneur you can be. So thanks again to Julia. Hi to the rest of the coach team, and talk to you soon.
Take care.